This is my BMW E46 330 Ci, and in this series, let's build it while keeping it affordable. The BMW E46 is actually quite cheap to buy right now. Although this car has depreciated, but the maintenance really hasn't. If we compare it to a newer car, there's actually a lot less that can fail in this car. With a modern car, you get a turbo, a lot of electronics and sensors, and also working on those cars have become way harder. But if you maintain this car with a dealership or a mechanic, it can get really expensive really fast, and oftentimes it's gonna cost you a lot more than the car's value. So you might ask yourself, why not just do it yourself? And that's exactly what this series is. But before we do all that, let's give this car a wash because it's very dirty. I haven't washed it in like 2 weeks. I disconnected the battery first because I wanted to start with the engine bay. A lot of people are actually scared to clean their engine bay, but your engine's designed to get wet. You just have to be careful in some areas and make sure to properly dry it after. For the car wash, I foamed the car first to get the dirt off. I left the window open so it's nice and soggy inside when I sit later, or maybe my window regulator broke. I'll let you guys decide. After rinsing, I foamed again and started the contact wash using the 2-bucket method. I'm doing this to prevent swirl marks and scratches. To be honest, with this paint job, swirl marks are probably the least of my concerns, and I forgot the wheels, but always do those first. And lastly, dry the car. We're now going to be heading towards the used parts store to get the window regulator. I'm deciding if I should take the E46 or the A-Class. Actually, I'll take the E46. We started heading towards Shah Alam, which is like an hour away from here, and I've never been to a junk/half-cut used store, so I didn't know what to expect. I had to stop for gas, because having a short diff doesn't really help with fuel economy. I think I get about 350 to 400 kilometers in a full tank. It doesn't seem too bad till you realize the E46 holds 62 liters. At this point, it was getting hot inside the car because having a window open doesn't really help the AC. We arrived right on time. Well, technically we're pretty late because the shop closes in like a few minutes. At this point I started recording using my phone to avoid being suspicious, and this place has tons of BMW, Mercedes and Volvo parts. We even found an M54 engine. We didn't look around too long as it was closing time. Not only did we get the window regulator and motor for just $43, they gave me a free clip for my map sensor, and I've been looking for this for the longest time. Then we started heading towards Mr. DIY for some tools, and if you notice the light on my dash, it's not a check engine light but a low windshield fluid light. In what scenario would you want to have a caution sticker on your car? Honestly, it should be a crime to sell these weird stickers. Is it just me, or does this look very familiar? I was mainly looking for a pry tool, but there wasn't any, but we did get this plunger. Keep that in mind because it's gonna be important later. It is pretty jammed right now because it is time for you guys to subscribe. We're close to 16K, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching my videos. It took me 40 minutes to drive 10 kilometers, but we finally made it home. So all we have to do right now is start fixing this window. If you take a closer look into the E46 door, you're gonna realize that there's an airbag. So when you open it, you are gonna blow your face off, and that's just a part of the process. Obviously, that won't be the case if you do it correctly by disconnecting the negative and the positive terminals. And it is recommended to wait 20 to 30 minutes before taking off the airbags. Always take precaution when it comes to your safety. Next, you have to pry and open this cover and use the Torx 20 to open the screws behind the door handle, underneath the airbag trim, and 3 under the armrest handle. But when I tried opening the third one, my Torx 20 fell into the abyss, but thankfully I had a spare. After that, the door should pop off, but you also have to carefully unplug the 2 connectors when taking it off. Then we use a 10mm socket for the 3 bolts to open the airbag. Be careful not to damage the connector. There's a small clip and you can pry it open using a plastic pry tool. This is what it should look like. Before carefully taking off the vapor barrier, we also need to take off the mirror module, and this thing rips very easily, so be very gentle. At this point, there is a bolt that's on the window that I have to line up from this hole, so I would need to pull this up. This would be easier with two people, but I held the glass with one hand and unbolted the screw with the other hand. And this bolt isn't lefty-loosey, it's righty-loosey. Same thing for the other side, but this one you just loosen it and not completely take it off. Next we take off this push clip from the door seal and carefully pry open the other seal too, and then the window should come off. We used the Torx 30 to open the motor, which I did very neatly, and then we found the issue. The cable on this aftermarket regulator didn't last that long, and the motor, I don't think I changed it before. This is a new day, and I think I just faced my biggest problem so far, because I left everything here overnight and the neighborhood cat peed on my door. So you might think it's a rain, right? But if you look straight up, it's just a ceiling with no hoses or pipes. So there's only one way we can confirm. After a bit of sniffing, she's absolutely speechless. And at that point, I already got my answer. So I went ahead and cleaned everything with a toothbrush and soap. And then it was time for another inspection. She kept sniffing there again, so maybe there's still a little bit left. But considering she started sniffing the whole door and not just that spot, it could be a good sign, because maybe she's just trying to find that smell again. But I think it's fine. Now let's get back to work. We're gonna open 5 10mm bolts to take out the regulator. There's 2 at the top, 1 in the middle, and 2 at the bottom. And after that, you can take out the regulator, which can be tricky because there's very little space. So it's out with the old and in with the better old. My previous motor actually looks pretty worn out too, because turns out I actually didn't get this changed 2 years ago. But the used one we bought looks a lot better. Before installing the used regulator, I had to get rid of some broken glass, and then it was just a matter of putting things back. Honestly, replacing the regulator wasn't hard at all, and if you have this issue with your car, you can definitely give it a try. And not to mention, it is cheaper to do it yourself. I'll break down the price later in the video and see how much we saved. Also, I normally don't recommend using used parts for most things, especially crucial parts like the cooling system, but for cosmetics or miscellaneous things like this, I think it's completely fine. And after reconnecting the battery, it's the moment of truth. And turns out it works perfectly. You might want to spend a bit more time adjusting the window to make sure it fits nicely. For my case, I think it was pretty decent. But how much money did we actually save? So when I had this part changed from a workshop, it cost me $106 for the part, and it was an aftermarket part. The labor was $30, and I didn't really do the motor before, but if I did, it would have been another $80, bringing the total to $216. And my aftermarket regulator only lasted about 2 years, and the window on that side was barely used. If you're in the US, the labor cost will be a lot higher than just $30. In Malaysia, it is just a bit cheaper. So how much did it cost for us to do it ourselves? For the used part, we paid $43, and there's no labor because we worked on it ourselves. So if we minus $43 from $216, we saved $173. And we mostly saved money from the used part because the labor here is affordable. If you're from the US, you're gonna save a lot more by doing it yourself. But our used part won't last as long as a good new OEM or genuine BMW part, but it will outlive an aftermarket one if you get a good unit. Also, I did install the free MAF clip that I got, but I realized the plug being loose wasn't the main issue. I think I need a new MAF sensor as well, which will be done in the next video, as well as fixing my headlights. The ballast on one side doesn't work, and we're gonna remove the angel eyes or get something more periodically correct. We're also going to be continuing my E36 drift car project next. We got this car when it was abandoned on the side of the road, and we're going to get it back on the road and drift it. But do give me suggestions. And if you enjoyed, do leave a like, and why not subscribe?